All right, man. It's been a while since a good old Doc Rivers roast. And I've personally already said all of the things that could possibly be said about Doc Rivers over the years that he coached the Philadelphia 76ers. But I just came across Unc and Ocho clown Doc Rivers for idiotic comments on blown playoff series because Doc had some more recent comments defending all of his blown playoff series, which is just funny to listen to a classic narcissist make excuses for himself. But we're going to listen to Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco react to what Doc Rivers said. Here we go.
Here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the fastest growing community on YouTube. Remember, NightCap doesn't happen without you. So please subscribe or you're going to make Ocho cry. Doc Rivers says he doesn't get enough credit for winning 3 games in a playoff series where he blew 3-1 leads. No one tells the real story, and I'm fine with that. It's unfair in some ways. I don't get enough credit for winning those 3 games. I get credit for losing.
This is already the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. He said, I don't get enough credit for winning 3 games. I only get credit for losing. Yeah, that's how life works, Doc Rivers. You don't get credit for almost getting there, especially when you were up 3-1. Yes. Okay, let's hear their reaction to it.
I always say, what if we had lost to Houston in 6? No one cares. One thing that I'm proud of is that we've never been swept. All coaches have been swept in the playoffs. My team achieved. A lot of them overachieved. And I'm proud of that.
Wow. This is psychotic level of narcissism. It really is, man. Well, my team's won 3 games. Other people have gotten wow.
Did he say this out loud?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Hold on. He said this so somebody could write it?
But is this really his quote? I mean,
yeah,
are we happy about losing? But the fact that we didn't get swept, is that satisfying?
Looking for a broker that can match your drive and ambition? Don't settle.
Is this some type of moral victory or something?
It's more embarrassing that you had a 3-1 lead and you couldn't win another game.
Hey,
facts.
I just want to know how you feel about it.
But they know how. Come on, man, dog. Yeah. Doc, you know what? I wouldn't even say nothing. I said, yeah, hey, that's on me. Yes, I've had 3-1 lead in 5 or 6 series and we weren't able to get it done.
Yeah.
I've got to do a better job of putting my players in position so we can get it done.
That right there, what Shannon Sharp just said, is something that Doc Rivers has never said in his entire career. I've never heard him one single time come up there and say, I got to do a better job. He's never said it. This is an actual psychopath. Doc Rivers is.
Mm-hmm.
I would have never, ever said, I don't get enough credit for winning 3 games because it's not a best of 5. Right. Doc, you came in and there used to be a best of 5. As a matter of fact, I'm old enough to remember there used to be a best of 3. Yes, there were a best of 3. And because you had a best of 3, a best of 5.
Yep.
The Eastern Western Conference was the best of 7. So was the NBA Final.
And let's be honest, those first round matchups need to go back to at least best of 5, maybe best of 3, because nobody wants to watch the Hawks versus the Celtics.
So, Doc, if you had won 3 games in a best of 5, you got a ton of credit.
Yeah.
But in a 7-game series, it's the first to 4, not the first to 3. Doc said that. Doc said that out loud.
I'm just, you know, also, I'm just want to ask you, do you really think this is his quote? Is it from a reliable source?
Yes, him. He's talking. Yes. It's in quotes. Yeah, that's what he said. It's to Mark Spears. He said no one tells the real story, and I'm fine with that. It's unfair in some ways. I don't get enough credit for getting those 3 wins. You don't get credit for winning games. You get credit for winning series.
Right.
If it's the NCAA, you get credit for winning games.
One
but
shot.
not in a series, not where it takes 4. Come on, Doc. Doc is too much of a student of the game. Doc has too much basketball high-level IQ.
Does he, though? Does he? Does he really, though? Does he? What has he done? What has Doc Rivers done? Won a championship with the Boston Celtics in 2008 with 4 Hall of Famers on his team. A prodigy, 21-year-old point guard who was a magician with the ball. And 3 other NBA All-Stars. Shannon Sharp could have coached that team to a championship. Chad Johnson I could have coached that team to a championship. That's luck. That's what that is. And actually, they blew another series the next year. And then the Boston Celtics traded him. He was the first coach to ever be traded in the NBA. They traded him.
To ever say something like this, to have it printed.
Y'all, and I didn't expect these guys to know exactly what they were talking about with Doc Rivers because they didn't listen to Doc Rivers talk for 3 straight years like I did. I listened to Doc Rivers talk for 3 straight years as the Philadelphia 76ers head coach. The guy is a dumbass. Straight up.
Lord have mercy.
He told everybody, he was arguing with Sixers reporters for the first 6 months he was there about how we don't appreciate what Ben Simmons brings to the game. The guy has a very low basketball IQ.
Uh-oh.
Ocho?
I don't know how they're going to talk about this for 6 more minutes.
That would be the equivalent of DQ said, "Hey, I don't get enough credit for having a 28-3 lead on the Patriots. I don't get enough credit for that because I did have a lead." How many coaches ever had a 25-point lead in the Super Bowl? What good is that? You lost.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
That's the same thing when the Oilers had that big lead against Buffalo.
Yeah.
A lead? You're talking about a lead. Not winning the game, but we had a lead. It's even more embarrassing.
It's like a NASCAR driver saying, I don't get credit for leading 20 laps of the race. They only talk about how I lost. Yeah, bro. Nobody's going to talk about
that in the first to 4, you won 3 games and you lost the series still.
Mm-hmm.
This episode of Night.
You deserve more slander for being up 3 games and losing. I only get credit for losing. Yeah. You know what? If you Doc would have got less slander as a head coach if he would have got swept. Because you weren't winning 3-0 or 3-1 or 3-2. It's worse to be up 3-2 or 3-1 and lose. Because that's when you're supposed to win.
Dang. I don't know. I need more context to the conversation. Because the way it's being worded, it doesn't sound like, come on, Doc, would you really say something like that? Would you work more credit for winning?
Chad, that's how Doc Rivers talks all the time. See, Ocho is very confused, and he doesn't even think it's a real quote because I don't think he's ever heard Doc Rivers speak. He doesn't think it's a real quote. Doc Rivers has said something so stupid that Chad Ochocinco doesn't think it's a real quote. But what he doesn't know is I could show you 100 more quotes that you wouldn't believe were real by Doc Rivers.
Because he has the most blown 3-1 leads in NBA history. He's saying y'all not giving me credit for winning 3 games.
Nah, that ain't. Hey,
nobody. Who get credit?
Hold up, that ain't the way it worked though. In nothing you do in life.
He had against the Celtics in 23, a 3-2 lead, lost. 2020 against the Nuggets in the bubble, 3-1 lead,
Clippers.
lost. 2015. The Rockets. He was at the Clippers at the time.
Yeah.
Lost. 2012 against the Heat, 3-2 lead. Lost. 2010 against the Lakers, 3-2. Lost. 2009 against the Magic, 3-2, lost. 2003 Pistons.
That was the Celtics team that lost the next year after winning a championship. They were up 3-2.
Pistons, 3-1, lost.
My goodness. Yeah, listen.
What are we supposed to do with that, Ocho?
The difficulties of being a coach. The difficulties of being.
All right, this is boring. I'm not gonna lie to you because Chad doesn't really know enough about the topic to talk about it, and he's very confused because it doesn't sound like a real quote because he's never heard Doc Rivers give a quote. But welcome to the Doc Rivers world of sports, Chad Ochocinco. These are the types of things that he says. Yeah, I'm not shocked by it. I thought it'd be interesting to hear these guys react to it because I know they're not basketball guys. Shannon can't believe that he said it. Chad doesn't even believe it was him because it's such a dumb thing to say. Thank you, Doc Rivers, for the content.